Anyone that has looked into holsters before knows that finding one that pretty much isn't something like a Glock is a real pain in the And to make matters even worse, once you start adding accessories to your sidearm, it usually requires you to get another holster, which then costs you an additional one. A couple of companies have already tried to solve this issue by creating a so-called universal holster, but many of these have issues. Think about retention problems, others tend to press your mag release during the action, making you look like a fool, and there are even some that require you to switch between annoying spacers in order for you to find a good fit. Now, we have kept in contact with a Danish company for a couple of years now, which is in fact not much older than ReconBrothers itself, known as Björn Tactical. This company makes a couple of holster solutions along with some other interesting products. But we have always been intrigued with their so-called FIREFLY holster. We have been running and testing this thing for a good while now, and in this video we're going to tell you why we believe this is currently the best universal holster solution available. We'll go over what the FIREFLY holster exactly is. We'll also talk about its build, its features, and show you what's different compared to other similar universal holsters. We'll also go over our testings with you guys, and on top of that we will talk about our personal use and findings with it. But as always, let's give you guys some brotherly advice first. So brother, what do you have for our viewers today?
Well, since we're talking about holsters anyways, I think it is also good to talk about tanks. Joking aside, I think a good tip to give is to always do research into holsters when you are considering getting a new pistol, and while doing so, also consider what accessories you aim to put onto your pistol, because then you can already take that into account before purchasing anything.
Well, that's surely some sound advice. Before we move on, make sure to subscribe and hit the bell button to stay notified. Also comment down below to help us with the YouTube algorithm. And beside that, go have a look at ReconBrothers.com if you decide to get a Björn Tactical FIREFLY holster yourself after watching this video, of course. All your support is appreciated. A quick disclosure, this sample of the FIREFLY holster was given to us by Björn Tactical for testing purposes, and for that we would like to thank them. Our tests have convinced us in such a way that we have decided to become a reseller of their products. Nonetheless, we will still approach this video as we always do, meaning as objective as possible beside our personal opinion at the end, of course. And on top of that, there was no financial involvement into the making of this video whatsoever. So what is the FIREFLY holster exactly? Well, it is an OWB level 1 holster, whereas OWB stands for outside the waistband, and level 1 security means that it is only retained by grip. This holster is designed in such a way that it can fit all double stack and single stack pistols out there, ranging from both subcompact all the way up to full-size pistols. This not only counts for firearms, but it also counts for replicas such as airsoft pistols. This incredible compatibility range is achieved thanks to it locking onto your mounted flashlight. And currently there are 3 models in existence of the FIREFLY, whereas one is for the Streamlight TLR1 HL, another for the Surefire X300U, and then there is also one for the Olight Pale Pro Valkyrie. So basically any pistol that can have one of these flashlights mounted without the use of an adapter will fit. Think about your 1913 rails, your old SIG rails, your Glocks and so on. This method is certainly not something new, but the way of how well it is done along with other features that it provides makes it truly unique. Now let's talk build and what it offers. Firstly, as expected these days, this thing is made out of Kydex, which is practically maintenance free and also secures the trigger in such a way that it prevents accidental discharges. The used Kydex for its build is 0.125 inches. This is pretty thick but done with a good reason, because it creates a holster that is strong, rigid and robust with minimum flexibility. In terms of its finish, the FIREFLY is very nicely made and also doesn't have any sharp edges. The The holster is also not mass-produced, but rather a piece of craftsmanship to ensure its quality. It is available in Coyote Brown, in black and in multicam, but you can also, of course, wrap it in Cordura like we have done with our sample. On the back of the holster, where your flashlight is positioned, there are two Phillips screws. These allow you to adjust the tension onto your mounted flashlight and thus allow you to choose how much grip you want to have onto your sidearm. The holster is also equipped with a so-called snap feature that gives you a tactile feedback such that you can hear and feel whenever your pistol is locked in. On top of the Firefly you can find a big open cut. This is done with two reasons. One is the fact that it allows compatibility with all red dot sights available on the market. And secondly, it allows for an easy and unrestricted reholstering of your pistol with a mounted flashlight. Along the slide, the Firefly is provided with enough space to accommodate suppressor height sights. The bottom is an open design that allows the fitting of threaded barrels, compensators and even suppressors as long as they are not wider than the pistol frame itself. The holster is also provided with an ergonomic cut such that your middle finger doesn't interfere with it when reaching for a pistol. The drilled holes on the back side allow compatibility with most holster mounting systems available these days. Think about Bladex, Fireland and G-Code. And last but not least, the Firefly is currently only available for right dominant shooters. Onto our testing. The first test we did was pretty straightforward, just a pistol fitting test. For that we took our sample we got from Björn Tactical along with a TLR1 and the confirmed pistols to fit are of our own pistol models, the Walther PDP, which is a 9mm pistol, our 6-hour PT26, which is an airsoft replica, the Evan Herstal Evan S9, also an airsoft replica, and the Walther PPQ, which is our .22 caliber pistol. Fits confirmed by users are, for example, Glock 17, Gen 3, 4 and 5, the SIG M17 and M18, Evan X45 and 45 Tactical, the HK VP9 and 45, Airsoft High Kappa 4.3 and 5.1, which is basically a 1911 platform. But there are some models that are known to not fit, for example the H&K USP with a GG&G adapter rail, the Hudson H9, and any configuration that requires an additional adapter to mount the flashlight. As for the second test, we did a holster retention test, and for this we took my Walther PDP in its full configuration, meaning with the Aimpoint Acro P2 and the Streamlight TLR1 HL along with their batteries, plus a full 18 round magazine. Making it weigh 1.65 kilograms in total, and thus with this one, when holstered, try to knock it out of it to see whether it will hold. From this test we can conclude that we can put retention high enough such that we cannot knock out the pistol, but more importantly in such a way that it is still possible to draw the pistol easily. Our third test is a trigger security test, and for that we have put some different models we have available inside of it. Of course cleared, and then try to reach for that trigger by going between the trigger guard and the Kydex to make it go off. Now with my pretty slender fingers I was able to reach inside of it with some models and get access to that trigger, but actually making it go off is a pretty hard thing to do, although with some models I was able to make it go off. But with this I would like to state that this is a very unlikely thing to do and certainly not something you will do by accident. As for our fourth and final test, we did a accidental mag release test. For that we again took our pistols, cleared them and put in an empty magazine inside of them. And when we holstered these, we tried all sorts of different ways to make that holster press the magazine release in order to lose the magazine inside of it. We did this by pressing on the material of the holster, but also by putting it on our belt and laying on top of it on the ground, seeing whether it would release that mag. and with some it was absolutely impossible to get it done, while with others we were able to do it, but it is highly dependable on the design of the pistol itself, because that decides where that magazine release is located. Now what we did notice with the pistols where we were able to release that mag was that when we were on the ground with these, it required a very narrow and specific angle to make it pop out. So we can conclude from this, for your regular use where you are running and bumping against stuff, it is very unlikely that you will lose those magazines. Now, considering how extreme and unlikely some of these tests are, we think that the Firefly did a pretty good job overall. As for our personal use and findings, I have been running this TLR1HL version ever since we got it, along with my Walther PDP, which I've mounted on a Blade-Tech duty drop and offset, and along with a Safariland QLS fork. I've been running it like this on a number of range sessions thus far, and what I immediately noticed was how easy and intuitive the drawing was, along with how smooth the reholstering is of this holster. I like the simplicity of the adjustment system, which works very well as shown by our tests, and I also am glad that there is no use of these annoying spacers in order to make your pistols fit. From our tests we can definitely agree that the trigger is well protected with this holster, and what I also like about it is when I reach for it I never hit that frame thanks to its ergonomic cut. I used to have holsters where this was the case, and after extensive uses of draws you practically cut yourself on that finger, which is a big issue. Despite my Walther PDP testing positive on the accidental mag release test, I have never lost one of the magazines during one of my range sessions thus far. We have also asked feedback from users that have bought the Firefly from us, and they have confirmed to us to have never lost a pistol nor one of their magazines during use. What I really like about this holster is the fact that you don't need anything when you want to upgrade your pistol with any type of accessories. It's also great that it is already available for 3 very commonly used flashlights on the market. And basically, to put it in short, you're buying a holster for your flashlight and that's it. Now what I did notice is that some material is coming off of the holster during use, but that lessens over time, which is quite normal. I really want to put some attention on the fact that this is not a duty holster though, because for a duty holster you really need that second level or third level of security, because you really want to avoid someone from grabbing your pistol. After our testing of this version, we also asked Björn Tactical to make a TLR7 version of the Firefly, but that one didn't make it through its testing phase because the flashlight is just too small to provide a proper grip. And it's also this type of information that we really value, because it shows how serious these guys are into making their products actually work. At last, personally, we would love to see a non-flashlight version of this someday, and a version with a level 2 security retention system. As for our conclusion, going from our use and tests, we can definitely say that the Firefly is a really solid holster. It may not be perfect for every single pistol model out there, but that is normal when you try to build something that is meant to fit all. But the fact that it is usable to such a wide variety of pistol setups makes it pretty hard to beat in the universal pistol holster range on the market. Especially considering its price, it wouldn't be dumb to have one of these laying around, particularly if you are a pistol lover. You'll only need one of the 3 flashlights along with its compatible Firefly model and you're ready to go, regardless of what pistol fits your mood today. If you're looking for the Björn Tactical FIREFLY universal holster for either the TLR1HL, the X300U or the PL Pro Valkyrie, you can find them all on ReconBrothers.com in black or coyote brown. If you like this video, make sure to leave a like. Also make sure to train and do proper research before your next buy, like for example watching one of our videos. Thanks for watching and you'll see us next time again.